What do Google, Samsung, LG, BYD and all of these companies have in common? Well, TCL is the one that creates most of the display panels for them.
What?
Yup, shocking, right? Not only that, but after visiting TCL's CSOT factory in Shenzhen, China, I found that the company is more than just typically producing display panels, as they have been invested in many of the green initiatives for their tech side of things, and that made me wonder, who knew display tech could be green? And all of the info that I found out that I'm going to share with you will definitely blow your mind. So TCL's product revolution is not only about making great products to use, but also great for our earth. So yes, they are turning everyday tech into green heroes, one screen at a time. Let's talk about its products, because the center of this magical transformation is their product lineup. So I've learned that I've mastered this cool thing called high efficiency panel technology. It's like they found a secret formula to make their gadgets use less energy while still being super awesome. And this isn't a small change, because it is a giant leap into saving energy. Then let's talk about their screens, from LCDs, mini LED and micro LED. So what did they do? Well, first they save a huge amount of energy, over 2.7 billion kilowatt hours. It's like turning off the whole city's worth of TVs and games for ages. And they even save the amount of water to fill 18,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. How cool is that? Now picture TCL's buildings. They turn their rooftop into what I call sunlight catchers with renewable energy. Now these panels grab sunlight and turn it into electricity, making millions of kilowatts every year. Super smart, right? Then they've also decided to rethink how they package their products. Now instead of just wrapping things up the old way, they've made their packaging smaller and simpler, which is like fitting more puzzle pieces into one box. Now this smart move means that they can send more things at once, cutting down the trips that the trucks have to make. And of course, fewer truck trips means that they have less stuff like exhaust fumes going into the air, and that is a big win for a cleaner air. But wait, there is more, because they started using really cool materials like soybean ink and FSC certified paper. Soybean ink is of course made from, you guessed it, soybeans, but don't go licking this ink, yeah? And FSC certified paper means that the paper comes from forests, so they're looked after very well. Then in the US, they have become a recycling hero, where they teamed up with the Environment Protection Agency (EPA) and provided free and safe drive-in recycling services in local communities and scarce recycling facilities, earning big awards for their efforts. From LEDs to OLED, each is a shining example of TCL's commitment to the planet, because they are not just ordinary screens, they are like energy-saving champions. For example, their e-paper technology, also known as e-ink displays, is the best at energy savings, and some of these displays are so good at saving power they won very high energy saving certifications. And that is a big deal, because it's like winning an eco-friendly Oscar. And even the 85-inch 8K 120Hz TV that has enhanced transmittance by 20%, which has reduced power consumption by 15%. They've also pioneered the high zone local dimming technology, which achieves 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio while saving energy. Now the new reflective LCD technology from TCL does not require backlight and relies on ambient reflected light on their displays. So it has low power consumption, strong light visibility, energy saving and eye protection, saving over 65% of power compared to similar LCD panels. Next, let's talk about how they spread their eco-friendly magic beyond factories into office and communities. Because they didn't stop at making fantastic green products, they looked at their offices and said, let's go paperless. Now this means that instead of using tons of paper for printing and writing, they switched to digital instead. Then as for the impact on the community, they've created some amazing installation around the world, like the TCL Green sculpture in Italy. And guess what? That sculpture did not just look good, it won awards and got people talking and thinking about living sustainably. And in Europe, TCL supported the Eco Rating scheme, ensuring that everything that they're using is planet-friendly, from the materials to the packaging as well. Next, let's think of TCL's factories as not just a place where things are made, but a futuristic labs where awesome ideas comes to life. As they have this master plan that is all about being smart and not wasting energy. They're so good at this super advanced panel production line that got big thumbs up for a national level 4 certification for being smart in manufacturing. Now that is like getting a really high A+ at being brilliant and making things. But here's where it gets really sci-fi, because they use 5G and AR in their factories. So imagine workers with high-tech AR glasses and super fast internet making things in a way that is really kind to our planet. Now this shows how much TCL is into using the latest, coolest tech to keep our Earth green and happy. Alright, let's zoom into another part of their world-saving mission. This time is all about fighting pollution and being super careful with our environment. Now TCL is really serious about not letting bad stuff to harm our planet, because they have strict rules and plans ready for any emergency to keep pollution under control. So you can think of them as the environmental superheroes who's always prepared for action. Remember Captain Planet?
What?
No? I'm probably too old then. And they didn't just stop there, because they've also slashed carbon emissions big time, and that is like reducing the amount of car exhaust fumes that go into the air, but on a huge factory scale. Then finally, I have to tell you about another amazing chapter in TCL's green story, the CSOT Wetland Project. Now this is like a magical transformation story where water and technology combine to create something really wonderful for our planet. Now imagine a huge area as big as 6 football fields, all dedicated to a super cool ecological project, and TCL had this big dream of putting about $8.19 million to make this happen, because they planned it in 2 big steps, with the idea of cleaning massive 18,000 cubic meters of water daily, but only using 15,000 cubic meters, showing that they are careful on wasting resources. Now here is the really awesome part, because they use something called the artificial wetland technology, which is not a bunch of pipes and tanks just cleaning the water. Nope, because it's like a living, breathing mini ecosystem. So water that used to be waste gets cleaned up, meeting really strict environmental standards. Then that is just not thrown away. It is reused for things like watering plants, flushing toilets, and even washing. So it's like giving the water a second chance for being useful. And these artificial wetlands are about more than just being practical, because they have a beautiful blend of nature and technology, a place where people in the community can hang out, relax, and learn about the environment. And this wetland project in Shenzhen is like the shining star of their green efforts. So yes, my friend, TCL is not only about just making excellent screens anymore. Nope. Because they are leading the way of showing us how we can make progress without hurting our planet. And this is a story of change, creativity, and a hope for a greener future.